Hey everybody, Mark Herman, aka LA Bengals fan on most of the major platforms, and I'm joined here with superfan Keith Goldman, and this is the Week 18 recap of Jungle Talk. Woo! I know he's not, and we're going to get into Kappa, we're going to get into all that and how the league screwed us. We're going to get into all that, but I know a win's a win, a dub's a dub. We were forced to play this. We're going to talk about that. We were forced to play all our starters, but here's the victory horn. And postseason bound. No
First one for the new year. I'll take it.
We'll take it. Hey, dub's a dub. 8-game win streak going in. Jaguars are going in on a 5-game win streak. We got win streaks going. I think the Bills, too, are going in on like a 7 because they were 6. So a lot of win streaks going into the postseason. Let me ask you a question. When is winning a division not winning a division?
It's unbelievable.
When you're the Bengals, that's what it is. We win the division. They say, oh, you won the division, but by the way, if you don't win this game, we're going to flip a coin and you might have to play in the town of the wild card winner. So that's when a division title means absolutely nothing. We learned something this week. We did our Thursday show. The owners were the competition committee was meeting. It went to the owners the next day. We learned that we don't matter, that there are 31 other teams that could care less about fair play, about anything. They literally changed every rule to favor Kansas City and Buffalo, and none of those rule changes, they all screwed us. We did not get to rest players today. Jake sent out a great tweet earlier, which is on my Twitter feed. I replied to it. So go ahead and look at my Twitter feed. He said that if obviously now there's going to be a coin flip if it's Kansas City and Buffalo. What happens if it's Cincinnati and Buffalo? Is there a coin flip? No, it's in Buffalo. But we would have had home field if we had had that game. Why are we not getting the coin flip? Every single part of their rule change screwed us.
Yeah, you know what that has to do with, unfortunately?
That just pissed me off beyond recognition.
You know what that has to do with? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
That has to do with Mike Brown.
What about Mike Brown?
No respect.
They've never respected us as a team. And Katie Blackburn's on the competition committee. And they vehemently opposed everything. We were the only dissenting vote. That's why you had the coin flip celebration in the end zone today. I mean, the whole thing, like I said, why is there not a coin flip if we have to go to Buffalo and play? Why is that? If it's Buffalo, Cincinnati, why is that not a coin flip? Like I said, doesn't make any sense. I understand it not being a coin flip for Cincinnati, Kansas City, because we needed the Chiefs to lose and they didn't lose. Right. But if we had won that game, Buffalo would be coming here. So that's it. Like I said, that's when winning a division is not winning a division. I don't give me 100% more title and 0% more pay increase on the promotion. Okay, there's nothing. It was absolutely nothing.
At the end of the day, though, the AFC North is ours 2 years in a row, and that's a nice thing.
Yes. Well, you know what? We haven't lost a game in November and December this year, and now we haven't lost a game in January. So we're carrying that win streak into the postseason. Believe me, if we have to go to Buffalo, we're going to be going there with a big chip on our shoulders, knowing that we got hosed. It would be one thing to go there if we had lost the coin flip, but the fact that there was no coin flip, this team knows that. They're going to take that chip into Buffalo. But just a frustrating the whole week. The whole week, it was just absolutely frustrating. We'll get into this game. The Baltimore had the opportunity to rest Andrews, rest Dobbins. We didn't have that opportunity because of what the league presented us with. We could have easily, in the third quarter, pulled starters if we had seen the Buffalo score on the scoreboard, but we didn't have that opportunity because of the rule change. And I don't want to put a lot on this game because you talked about our bad performance. You and I were talking beforehand, but we knew there was a really good possibility we were playing this team again this week. So what you saw today was basically like a preseason game. You saw a very vanilla offense, a very vanilla defense, not a lot of gimmicks, not a lot of stunts. We kept it vanilla because we realized we don't want to give up our scheme and our playbook for next week. So
yeah, but you know what? At the end of the day, our playbook has been exposed for 17 weeks. It's been out there. It's exposed. And the
I
question
understand that, but you scheme certain things for certain games and matchups, and you have some plays that you're going to use in certain situations. We couldn't do any of that today on the 4th and 1. Yeah, we're going to, we were just going to do the scrum, or we're going to try to just do a wide tight end screen. You know what? We weren't going to do anything exotic. You save that for next week when the money's on the line.
I hope
So
you're right, because I got to tell you, I watched that game, and I watched for some real pluses to take out of there. And other than the W and the score at the end of the game, I didn't see a lot to take out of there. I got to tell you, Burrows was not Joe today. I mean, he was overthrowing receivers. He was off track. We had drop balls by Jamar in the end zone. We have drop ball by Higgins. I mean, there was a lot there that's frustrating going into a playoff game next week.
Well, I don't know about you. When I play golf, if I have a really good round, I worry about my next round because the same golfer doesn't come out 2 days in a row. And in any sports, it's a different person the next. It's a new game. It's a new everything. So, coming off of a meh performance, this was basically a one-on-one. We didn't do anything exotic, complicated, but we had chances to put this away early, which was frustrating.
And I'll tell you what, now it's going to be chippy next week, because the Dirty Birds showed their true colors today. I'm not one of those types of fans that looks at this. There was just a bunch of cheap bullshit out there today.
Right. Yeah, I agree. The officiating wasn't great. I mean, Burrow on the fumble, they blatantly missed a face mask, and when
you miss a face mask on the 3-yard line,
and you watched him, and his head turned, and they didn't call it. So that should have been a face mask. Like I said, this officiating crew wasn't good. When Carmen does his blocking and he doesn't know the play's over, I'm assuming that's why he kept blocking. There's nothing. The Ravens are all surrounding him on that side of the field. No flags, no explanation. It was just this was not
at home.
At home. Yeah, this was not like I said, this was not our best performance. But like I said, what I saw a team playing it like preseason, and that's fine. Let's get into the biggest.
We have to take out this week. We need a positive. We need Kappa back relatively healthy.
Yes, I was just going to say, let's talk about the most important development in this game was Kappa getting his ankle rolled up on, he walked off the field limping very gingerly, and then they took him to the locker room on the cart. He gave the thumbs up and that he was fine to his family. I'm hoping that it's good that it's an ankle, not a knee, and he's a lineman. He's not a wide receiver. Hopefully it's one of those things where he can get treatment during the week, shoot it up, because we saw the difference in the right side line blocking with the Denergy and Kappa versus Kappa not being there. You saw the difference, and it's a big difference. It's going to be huge next week. So because
it's on the right side, not the left side.
Right side. Did I say left? I meant right side. Yes.
No. I'm just saying. You said it correctly. I'm just saying.
Okay.
Luckily, it's on the right side and not the left side. Although I'll tell you what, again, I watched Jonah Williams just get beat. I know I'm beating a dead horse. I bring it up every show. It just drives me crazy. He's in a left tackle. You have to be elite. You don't need to be the best. And I'm not saying he's going to get elite money, but you have to protect your quarterback's blind side. And I guess he does a decent enough job of it, but it drives me crazy.
Is he the best? No. And I truly believe that one of the needs we have is we need to get another quality, whether it's through the draft and developing, or I don't think we can afford it in free agency, because we got to pay Joe, we got to pay T, we got to Pratt, we got a lot of people to deal with this year. So I don't think we do it in free agency, but maybe draft the best possible line we can in the first round.
I didn't pay attention that closely. Hubbard seemed to have a couple plays. I mean, did he finish the game? I really wasn't paying that close of attention.
They were rotating people in and out. Hubbard played well. Sample limped off, but seemed to be okay.
Come back,
Carter had a good game today. Almost got the tip and the pick. Pratt had a big game today. The defense looked good, but like I said, when you were watching the scheming, you're watching everything, it was just kind of, very, very straightforward rushes, no stints. You're playing a rookie quarterback. You don't have to break everything out. And I get the fact we knew that most likely it was the Chargers or the Ravens that we were going to get next week unless the Bills lost. So, would I have liked to get to the 2 and get the Dolphins? Yeah, I would have loved to have the Dolphins as my first by first. But we'll take the Ravens. Like I said, we on the plus side, we started scheming for this game last week. This before this game, we were thinking ahead, saying, "Hey, what if we play these guys?" And you can
The
see the
question is,
scheme
what do they
today.
have a quarterback? I mean, Jackson hasn't played in 5 weeks.
I'd love to have Jackson out there. Yeah, like you said, he hasn't played in 5 weeks. So,
and I love our run defense. And you know what? Dobbins is a great great running back. I love the kid. He's an Ohio State alum. But at the end of the day, I like our run defense. And I think we'll be stepped up to secure it.
Yeah, the biggest thing out of this game is Kappa.
Yep, no doubt about it.
That's it. Can he play? As long as he's okay and he can play next week, we're going to take care of business next week in Cincinnati. But it was just so frustrating. And I don't want to come across like a hater or anything, and you could put in the comments whether you agree, disagree, tell me I'm off the rails. But I just felt completely disrespected by all 31 owners. There wasn't one other owner that stepped up and said, you know what, this is wrong. This is wrong. And it was. It's so slanted in every single aspect. How could you ask a division winner to flip a coin on whether or not they get to host the game? When you're looking at possibly, we were at the point of possibly seeing an 8-9 team win a division. Now, granted, they turned out to be 9-8 because it was Jacksonville, I think if Tampa Bay won today, they went to 9-8. But we were literally, nobody was talking about taking away their home game. Literally, it was like I said, when is a division winner not a division winner? And that's it. When you're the Bengals and the owners side against you. So
I don't understand the hatred. I mean, you don't have a bunch of dirty players out there like we used to have with Perfect. I don't know. It's just we don't go head hunting. I mean, we just play the game clean and with respect. You saw what our fans did last week. It is what it is. We got the W. Like you said, there's only one thing that's important out of this outcome, and that's a healthy, relatively healthy line. I'll make one comment again. I think I said it before the show. I did not like the Joe Burrow I saw today.
Right.
Maybe it's because we didn't play with the urgency and everything else, but he had some overthrows. Yes, he had some nice scrambles for yards, but he had some plays that just are not typical Joe Burrows on the throws.
He had some overthrows, but he had a lot of drop balls. Higgins had one that if he just extends his hands, that's a touchdown. Chase had a couple he could have made. I'm just happy every time Chase caught the ball. And believe me, they went and tried to put a real lick on Chase. A couple of times they hit their own defenders. Roquan Smith had to go off because his head hit the thigh of his own teammate. But I just kept saying, please get up. Please don't be hurt. I mean, the second half of this game, I was just rooting, no injuries. And unfortunately, we didn't dodge the bullet with Kappa. So just hoping, like I said, that's going to be the biggest news of the week is to watch how Kappa is. Other than that, everybody else is there. Another comment, good apple, bad apple, and Flowers. They were iffy today, especially Apple had a couple of the larger completions was Apple just being lackadaisical, and then you had Flowers committing penalties and not playing his best. So
the one thing we also saw today was with Brown, and you got to commend the kid for coming in there as an undrafted free agent and playing there. We didn't see our defensive line, and maybe because of the schemes and everything else, we didn't see them finish. So he was scrambling a little bit, and some of those things, it wasn't like he stood in the pocket and just made great throws on those outside. So when you got a scrambling quarterback, it's hard to hold the defense that long. And they really didn't have a lot of plays. Sorry about that.
Well, they clearly because they signed the guy. This guy was on the team just this week. He was the sacrificial lamb. They knew they needed, what is it, Huntley, and they knew that Jackson. They need both of them are dinged up, and so they just basically threw somebody out there, and there was no way he was coming out, and it was what it was. And I felt bad for the kid. He also didn't get a lot of support from his teammates. They dropped a ton of balls, and we're going to have to shore up our protection. That's what I meant about Apple kind of being lackadaisical. It's like we kind of took this for, it's Brown, but I wanted to see a little more crisp play, a little more smart play. But I'm going to chalk all this up to us just trying to get through the game.
It was a
with
rough
a simple
week.
plan and not get hurt.
Rough week. Thank God DeMar looks like he's turning the corner for a positive. I mean, we got the W, we got home field. Got to take care of business. I mean, it's the playoffs.
Yeah. So with that, we'll do our preview. I forgot to mention, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe. It's all we ask. We get these recap videos up for you right after the game. We'll be doing our usual preview on Thursday. Hopefully Heath, you'll be there. Jake will be there. We'll do our usual preview of a playoff game coming up, and we've got to. This one didn't. This one wasn't a bit. This one wasn't the playoff game. Next week's, we have to win. We have to win.
You and Jake have to hold down the fort. I'll be in San Diego for meetings all day. I have meetings all the way from 8 o'clock until 7 o'clock at night.
All right. Well, say hi to David for me. I'm sure you'll be seeing him when you're down in San Diego.
For sure.
But please, if you don't subscribe, please subscribe, hit the bell, and help us with the thumbs up. It helps us with the algorithm. So give us the thumbs up. Put down any comments you have, your feelings about the Raven game coming up, and we will be back with the preview on this Thursday, and then the recap. I don't know when we're playing yet, but it'll be right after our playoff game this weekend, which I'm hoping you and I will be watching together.
Well, Riley's got a 3-day tournament this weekend. We were talking about it. It just all depends on when we play. What if I'm going to be watching that thing on a tablet, or if I'm going to be watching that thing on a 60-inch.
Well, all right. Well, you could. If you're here, it's a 75, by the way. Okay, that's a 75 4K that we enjoy the games on. So, with that, I'm going to go. Hoo day, everybody. I'm going to see you in the playoffs.